Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Raine Plays. Today we are at Yuma Heights in the Acquisition Butte neighborhood of Oasis Springs. It's only one of two houses. This is one, and then there's the Landgraabs house, and then that's it for Oasis Springs. I don't want to say there's nothing wrong with this house, but you can kind of see, again, another very typical EA build with EA crap in it that makes the house look depressing and just sad. So I gave you befores of the main rooms, and then I go into my build. I demolish this, and I give you a speed build of what I decided on. Didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to, but only in that the access for them was a little off. Didn't give it very good thinking when I was building this. When I started to play them so I could get you after shots and a walkthrough, they kept giving me that, with the exclamation point over their head, and I'm like, what is the problem? Go to the bathroom, go eat, go in the, I only had a front door and a back door, so I put the parents in the front and the son in the back, on the second floor for their rooms, their private rooms. But I can't quite remember what. Well, I did notice, I think while I was doing the walkthrough, that the adults had to run around the entire house to get to the kitchen and the dining area. I had to personally walk them to their bed, to their restrictive computers, and ask them to do something before they figured it out. And then everything worked fine, but I ended up having to add, was it a second door? I don't think you're going to see it in the playthrough because, like I said, it occurred while I was recording. I did. It was just one door in the living room on the first floor. I had to give them two doors there. So instead of just a main entrance, there's a way out the back. And that freed the two adults from having to run all the way around the house to get into the kitchen. I liked what I did, and I didn't think it turned out, as horrendous as I had anticipated. But there were some issues. You know me, I want to make sure they have enough room for a yard. She did get her garden. There's a pool there. I couldn't fit a hot tub in, but I did give them a tiny fountain in the back. These guys are the Ogdens, Ogden. It's a mom and dad and their young adult son. They're affluent, as you can plainly tell. He's in business. So is she. Well, actually, all three of them are business-minded, but the young one is athletic. He did well in high school and college sports. So I didn't quite know what I was going to do with him, but I wanted to have them be rivals of the Landgraabs. So to say I kind of made her look similar would be wrong because these guys came up. Oh, that's right. I did mess with her. The young adult came up first. Can't remember their first names. And he was a blonde. So I made a dad for him, and he came up blonde. And then I made a mom for him, and she came up a brunette. I'm assuming it has something to do with the eyebrows, because I don't like the white hair with white eyebrows, yellow hair with yellow eyebrows, orange hair with orange eyebrows. I just don't think it's natural. So I changed the mom up just a little bit. But they're gonna be rivals with the Landgraabs. I'm not gonna get rid of the Landgraabs. I am gonna fix up their house, but I'm not gonna get rid of them. And then these two families can just duke it out, see who wins the most, whatever. What did they want? She's the one. I think she's been with this game since the first Sims, and she's always been snooty and wealthy. What's weird is that, well, actually it might not be weird. He took her last name when they got married, because it's her family that accrued all the wealth and the real estate in the game, and yet her husband's last name is Landgraab as well. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some inbreeding going on there, but that's gross and I don't want to think about it. What else do I have to tell you? There's supposed to be a big storm again headed this way, but right now all we're getting is rain. I was trying to save time here. This ended up being a lot longer than I had anticipated, so I cut a lot out. You're only going to get bits and pieces of what I did. You'll also notice that things change between here and the walkthrough. I can't remember, but again, something came up and I had to stop playing. No, I'm sorry. That was the second time. The first time, I was in the middle of building and recording, and my computer shut off. It just and went down, black screen. And I'm like, no. And then I'm kicking myself the whole time going, it's your fault. You got to remember to save. You've got to remember to save. I never remembered to do that. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But that taught me a valuable lesson. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. This happened once before, and when I came back, everything was fine. But not this time. It was right back to the old Yuma Heights house, and I had to start all over from scratch. And I'm telling you, I was a good 65% in. I was just finishing up the second floor. Oh, I was upset. So I cut out a lot of that useless footage. But I wanted to show you how I got this started, so I kept this part. It's no different than one size. Everything else is the same, but I kind of rearranged this room, and well, I had no choice. It didn't quite come out the same way the second time around, and it never does. But it's similar. It's similar enough, but this is not the way the house ends up looking. But I didn't want to, that was so much footage. So like I said, I gave you the first part, half of the dining room part, well, kitchen dining room. And then I gave you one bedroom upstairs and a bathroom. And I didn't want to bore you with my landscaping expertise, so I did remember to go slow to show you what I did in the walkthrough. I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm improving, and then when I watch the footage back, it's like, no, no, you're not. You're still doing the same boring stuff. But again, it's not. All right, let me just say that the part of the reason I do landscaping the way I do is to give the Sims privacy. Like if there is a pool in the yard and there's so many people walking around, and me doing the realistic thinking when I'm playing a game, I know how ridiculous that is. So I give them privacy shields with the plants. So I put them in specific spots so that my Sims can go out and enjoy themselves without being stared down by some stranger. At least that's my way of looking at it, which is dumb, I know. But that, I'm just telling you, that's why I do the things the way I do. But I think I'm learning to let stuff like that go. It's a slow, painful process, but I'll get there eventually. I hope. I don't know. I think there's very little CC in here as well. Maybe 1 or 2 rugs, and that's about it. I'm liking my city living items. I'm just afraid that they're going to get old real quick with these videos. So I'm going to have to start reverting back to using CC. Although, again, as I think I've mentioned before, I have very little left. After that legacy issue and I got rid of everything, when I came back, all I really wanted was my rugs, my carpeting, and my walls, which the walls and the carpeting is not that much. I actually only have like 2 carpeting CC, but the range of colors is so vast that you only need those 2. Like there's the blues and the purples and then the yellows and the oranges. So that's about it. I don't know how I'm catching these aftershots at sunset, but I'm kind of glad because it's so pretty. I also got an after shot of the unplayable area. Didn't put it in here because, like I said, the time constraint for me. I do wish I could keep these down to 20 minutes tops. But I wish that the game would allow for a more broad area for these characters to play in. I understand the limitations and the file sizes and things like that. I understand that, but it sometimes feels like there's not enough to go around, if that makes any sense at all. It's like you always wish that there was more when you shouldn't. You should be happy with what you got, and I am. But I like more worlds, more places, like for them to go jogging a little bit longer than they do and reach out a little bit further in their respective worlds, things like that. I just think that would be a little more entertaining. But that's just a silly wish list of mine. Yeah, I gave them this closet. Before it was a sitting area if people came over to visit, which they never do. But I remember a long time ago, I had a party aspiration for one of my characters, and it actually played well. The people we invited to the party came over. The only thing that never works out with those like weddings and parties, when you set an event, is when you hire someone to cook and hire someone to bartend and hire someone to play music. Never works. They either show up and don't do anything, or they show up too late. It ruins. I remember through trial and error, like baking the cake before the birthday party and keeping it in the refrigerator, baking the food, or I bought that party table. Has all the food already in it. You just click on what you want. I'd have those at my venues, and it worked out a little bit better, but not by much. Not by much. But I'm just saying, the playthrough on that was much more enjoyable than most of the other things that they expect you to do when you actually play the game the way you're supposed to instead of the way I want to. I did not mind that at all. The other one was the only one, actually, that is absolutely impossible for me to get done, is have everyone dance together. It never works. Someone will walk up and start dancing around, and then you'll click on, 2 or 3 other people to get them all, whoever's there. You click on them all, dance together, dance together, dance together, and they don't. 2 people will walk up and then 1 will walk away. 3 of them will not even bother acknowledging your request. Oy, it's hard. I know it doesn't sound like it based on what I said, but I'm telling you, with my luck with this game, that for me is the easiest and most enjoyable thing to do if I bother doing things like that. When I play this game, it's just my characters doing their thing, making money, getting job advance, getting a lot of exercise, lots of woohoo, maybe having a kid, and building up their house, changing things out every once in a while, going fishing, harvesting tons and tons and tons of food and fruit. What else? Changing out their outfits every once in a while. Just very boring, staid gameplay. But for me, it's very enjoyable because there's no hassle, there's no headache, there's no time constraints. I'm horrible with time constraints. There was a game, I cannot remember, probably a few, where you're on a timer and you have to, oh my goodness, I stink at those. And then I get angry with myself. It's like, you're so bad, you're such a loser. But as I've mentioned before, games are supposed to be fun. At least that's my idea. And when the fun goes away, forget it. Now, I want to point out here, I hope I'm not behind too much on my audio. These little brown things sticking out, they're in several rooms. I have to assume it's the little fence that I put on top of the two sides of the roof. But why? The roof is there. Well, yeah, it does butt up against the edge, but still. It just seems, I've got to be doing something wrong. Maybe I should follow through on the roof side or something and then it won't poke through. I don't know. But that's very frustrating to see stuff like that. Because you can't see up when you're in the game, especially when you're building. All you can see is directly what you're doing. That was frustrating. Come through, all done, took all day to do this. And then you look up and, hey, part of your fence is sticking through the roof. Wonderful. Yeah, so this is the boys' room. This is his side. I gave him the back. He's very handsome. It's odd that you get handsome Sims from Cass. You know, you just open up the game and he was standing there and I'm like, whoa. Well, now this is different. I always get the fat, goofy, ooh. It's always a guy or a girl, and they got that ugly voice. The voice I cannot stand the most in this game is that girl from the Willow Creek First Neighborhood. She's a BFF, the blonde one. I remember one time I had started out in Willow Creek, and I had one character in Crick Cabana and the other one in Daisy Hovel. And so they came over, for the housewarming. And she, I don't want to do it to you guys to break your ears, but she just has this high-pitched, it got on my nerves. I'm like, please go home. Ugh. Yeah, see, so typical, boring, I know. But the pool was there, so I wanted to hide it, give him some privacy. It's not bad. It's not the worst thing that I've ever seen, but there's their little... For the amount of money they have in the house they live in, they should have a much better pond than that, but... Excuse me. Sorry. Sometimes ponds can be overkill and in your face. And this time around, I just thought, let's be subdued about our intentions with the Landgraabs. Let's not give away too much right away. We'll surprise them with a big double whammy. Hey, we make more money than you, and we own more land, so... Silly stuff. So now we're going up to Mom and Dad. I really messed up with these. It's keyboard, and I stink at keyboard movements. I can't play games this way. If I'm going to play a game, I use a controller. But if you hit down, you're going to go down, and if you hit up, you go way up, especially when you get to the second floor in The Sims. Wow. the camera just goes nuts. And I always mess up and hit the bottom with my thumb, and then I'm down under the ground. I apologize for that. So each room has like a sitting area and then a bedroom with their own bathroom. And this is their bedroom. That's hers, and then his desk is outside. Again, that's habit. When I would play the game, it bugged me when the guy would have to do something for work on the computer, and then the girl would have to get something done. And if you kept the computers together, they'd just talk and talk. And if you put a radio box in there, forget it. Music box. Ugh. They listen to music and they talk sitting at their computer. And you're like, okay, you got to go to work in so many minutes and you're not doing anything. Oy, so no music, and I always separate their desks. And I know I'm not playing these guys. As I said, habits. Bad habits. Well, not bad habits, just learning from experience habits. So those are the ones that are a little difficult for me to break in this mode, build mode. But so anyway, I mentioned earlier about this storm. Been making a big deal out of it for days now. I have to go pick the kids up at the airport tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, and according to the quote-unquote sources, it's supposed to be ice, turning over to snow around midnight. And I'm, as boring as I am, you guys probably already guessed that, I do not do winter driving in those conditions. I won't take the chance because I don't have, what little luck I do have is all bad. And I cannot afford to lose my car. I don't have insurance, so I can't break anything or, get hurt. But according to my computer, which I kind of rely on because they've been good, especially with their summer forecasts, my computer weather is saying, nope, we might get a little snow between 3 and 8 tomorrow, but it's going to be above freezing, so that means no ice. And then it's going to go back over to rain from 8 onward because the temperature is going to slowly rise. And that sounds so much better than what all of the, local channels are predicting. So wish me luck on that one. But the kids are aware. They've got that app on their phone and their airline is in touch with them. They get stuck in Denver or something, then I won't have to worry about it anyway. But all right, this is the end, and that's the house I'll be doing next, and then I have to decide where we're going to go in a new world. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Well, I guess I'm a little early, but I do hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked what you saw. Not a big fan of like and subscribe, but if you do, I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.